So, being father of bride, I get the opportunity to speak first, and I can get all my old gags out of the way in case anyone following might have the same. So, you know me, and I like to make the odd joke, but I can also be sentimental and sometimes serious. So hopefully what I say will make you all laugh, become tearful and also thoughtful, hopefully at the right times. So here goes. This is my only chance. Next time, Claire, you're on your own. Anne and I would like to welcome you all here to Villa Esmeralda on this glorious day, thankfully. And we are so pleased you made the journey over to Portugal to celebrate the marriage of Claire and George. We've got aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, even a couple of people I know. This wedding day, days, has been at least 18 months in the planning. And as we know, Claire does like to plan things fully, even meticulously. So her input has been on every aspect of this. And I've got all the spreadsheets to show it and graphs should anybody wish to see them. So you know to blame if it's not quite right. And maybe Claire can be, what could you say, absolutely bloody minded about what she wants. She even compared herself to Hitler, which I felt was very, very unfair on Hitler. But she's in some ways very like myself. And we adopt the old Brian Clough School of Management. That's the one where we all get together, have a full and frank discussion, and decide, yeah, we were right in the first place. So it won't surprise you to learn that I've known Claire all her life. And she's brought Anne and myself 25 years of joy and happiness. I know she's 28, but we don't want to talk about those other three, do we? No, okay. And I could tell you about the old times, like when she found a pair of scissors and decided to remodel her own hair, and some of our furniture as well. Or the school project on chickens that we kept at home that she won a prize for, but maybe because she bribed the teacher with a dozen eggs. All the time she went from being happy, then sick, to wetting herself and needing changing, then crying herself to sleep. And that was in the Uber on the way back from town. I think it's fair to say that Claire couldn't really work out what she wanted to do as a career when she first went to university. And it wasn't until she discovered wine, drinking it for sure, but understanding about it and wanting to learn as much as she could on the subject. And finally she had something to focus on, and when Claire gets focused, well, you just have to step aside. Not content with what she was being offered by a university as a year in business, Claire used her contacts and landed her internship in New York that you've heard about. And Anne and I got Claire to New York with only a week to get her an apartment, furnish it and get everything else sorted before she started work. Some effort all round, especially that 7 hours on Labour Day in IKEA, wrestling the last bed frame away from a very irate Hispanic lady, yes. Now bear in mind, Claire was only 20 at the time, confident enough to be in New York on her own, but she was in the booze business, and the drinking age in New York is 21. But surely I can take the wine exam before I'm 21, she said. I'm only tasting it, not drinking it. No way, but she did do it after her birthday. And after 12 months of the way in the States, and she got a university degree, still with wine in mind, she had a season in Beaune in France, where she arrived having driven on her own to find the accommodation she'd been allocated locked up, as it was a Sunday. Some introduction to a basically French-speaking only job. And whilst there, her French improved, spoken definitely, but her written was just as poor as her English. And I've still got the misspelt wine cellar. That's with 2 E's, not the way she made there as a reminder. And then back in the UK, further jobs and qualifications in the wine business, during which time, of course, she met George at Laithwaite's. My word, wine does have a hell of a lot to answer for, doesn't it? So Claire has gone from strength to strength and matured into a beautiful, confident and determined young lady that Anne and I are so very proud of, and we know how happy she is with George as her now husband. So now, George, your turn, mate. I've only known George a few years. Since about... It was this time. Yeah. Well, you knew it was going to happen. I think George was more nervous on the day he asked me if he and Claire could marry than he was when Liverpool were making their comeback in Istanbul, or even what's going to happen tonight's game. And sorry, I know there's some of you out there that don't follow football and don't know what I'm talking about. It's an important game, but not that important we can watch it live, I'm afraid. Okay, George, seriously. Liverpool, you're outnumbered now, you know, in your own family. Andy, Chris, John, myself, we're all West Ham supporters, and boy, do they need all the support they can get. And as you mentioned a new dog, I reckon Bobby's a great name for the next one. Oh. So it seems now, George, I should give you, and maybe Claire, some words of advice on marriage. But surely you should know what's required by now. However, you've now got an anniversary to remember, and the best way of doing that is to forget it. Just the once, I should know. But however, if Liverpool win tonight, you've got no problems, have you? You might even get another poster in your loo. Now, George, you need to heed this. It's important. A husband should always have the last word on every subject with his wife. I find yes, dear works most every time. And you should always pay attention to what your wife is saying, or else you'll end up with a very large bill for clothes, shoes, dogs, cars. Oh, no, it's happened already, hasn't it? Yeah, yeah. And for the two of you, well, you know the old saying about marriage being give and take. Let's update it a bit. If you both give, then you can also both take. And what you need to do is take care of each other. I'm not necessarily a good role model, but with Anne, I've had and still having a very, very happy marriage. Difficult times may come along with the good ones, but you embrace them all, work things out and enjoy yourselves as husband and wife. Sorry, wife and husband. Yes, dear? So, please raise your glasses to the bride and groom. Timing all right?
Hello, everyone. I know it's not tradition for the bride to do a speech, but most of you know me well enough to know that I was never going to keep quiet throughout the whole day and let George speak for me. Firstly, a huge thank you to Mum and Dad, because you've put up with my tantrums, my demandingness, my I want it in the villa, I want this, I want that, and you've taken it all in your stride. So I want to say a huge thank you for that. It wouldn't have happened without you in your lovely home, so thank you. And I have to say thank you to my new in-laws, Andy and Linda, for welcoming me into the family. And I will promise to try and do the early name justice and not be late to everything, like I am normally. Like I was today, very mildly. Next to my bridesmaids, Katie, girls, where do I start? You have seen me at my lowest in some situations, and then hopefully my best today. And I want to say thank you so much for all of the effort you put into the hen do today, me going, I need this, I need this, I need this. I really appreciate it, and I couldn't have done today without you, so thank you. Bridesmaids, girls, love you. And then a special thank you to Dahlia, back in the corner, our wonderful wedding planner who put up with my Hitler tendencies, as Dad said. And honestly, Dahlia, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for everything. We really appreciate it, and I couldn't have done it without you. Not speaking Portuguese was a bit of an issue, so thank you so much. And we really, both George and I, have loved working with you, so thank you. And then finally to my new husband. That's very odd to say. I won't do any short jokes because Dad's already done one, and I'm sure Simon's got about 5 lined up. I will say that I love you, and thank you very much for today and putting up with me through my Nazi tendencies and planning, and we need this, we need that. So thank you for that. And I can't wait to celebrate the rest of our lives together. So thank you. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Claire, for just the one short joke. What have I done? You've not been dabbing me enough, have you? No. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. First of all, I need to start with my mum and dad, Andy and Lynn, over there. Thank you very much for always being there for me. I know how lucky I am to have parents to bring up their kids in the right way, and you've certainly done that with Sam and I. So thank you very much. No matter how big or small the favour is, you're always there, no matter what it is. So I thank you for that. And I know I speak with Sam on my side on this as well. You're the best parents that we could have asked for. So thank you very much. Apparently, I'm getting like the old man as the days goes by, more and more as the days go by. So it's too late. You've already said yes now, so sorry about that. But just on behalf of myself and my new wife, I'd just like to say thank you to welcoming Claire into our family and for being here today and celebrating it with us as well. So if you wouldn't mind raising your glasses to my mummy and daddy, Andy and Lynn. Next is my new mummy and daddy, Anne and Clive, as you've all met. I remember when I first got with Claire. That's later. And I was actually really worried, I don't mind admitting this, I was really worried that I wasn't good enough for their daughter. But Anne and Clive have always gone so far out of their way to make me feel welcome in their family and to feel at ease around them and their family. Christmases are great. Anne's Christmas dinner. Banging. Claire has obviously had a very happy upbringing, 2 loving parents. It's very obvious to me that Claire got her elegance and her manners from Anne. And her potty mouth and her red mist from Clive. We've played golf. I've seen the red mist. Now, talking about golf, there was actually one time when I genuinely believed that I wouldn't actually be invited back here to Portugal. It was the very first round of golf that I played with Anne and Clive. I'm sure they remember it very well. So the round of golf, to sum it up, was awful. My round of golf was literally awful. Somehow we made it to the 18th tee, and believe it or not, I ended up in a bunker just before the 18th. The 18th green. I ended up in a bunker. Now, Clive's looked across and he can see the absolute fear and the panic in my face. So he's come across and tried to give me a few words of encouragement and a few tips. He's told me to commit to it, follow through, give it some welly. I have never hit a ball out of a bunker so clean in my life. Now, not only did it fly past Clive, it went straight towards the clubhouse. The clubhouse on that side, 85 to 90% glass. Yeah. And not only did it head towards that big glass building, it also went straight between 2 fellas that was working at the golf club. Straight between them and hit the only metal strip that was on the golf club. And I have no idea how I've been invited back since. So I'd like to say thank you very much for not only inviting me back to Portugal, but for absolutely everything that you've done for Claire and I from day one until today. You've always welcomed me to your family. I'm very happy to be part of it now. And yeah, thanks for inviting me back. And if you could raise your glasses one more time to my new in-laws, Anne and Clive. I suppose I should mention the bridesmaids. Thank you very much, girls. You've been stars. Every single one of you has been stars. You've not only looked gorgeous today, you've not only done a great job, but you've taken all the stress away from me today that Claire would provide for you. So you've done it really, really well. I know she had a fantastic hen do as well. So thank you very much for that. I think we should have a whoop. How nice they look today. Change that. So yeah, to the bridesmaids. I know. Oh, now on to my ugly lot. Yeah, if you haven't seen the ugly ones, they're the one in the blue suits, not the light one, the dark one. Now, I'm sure these boys would tell you, yes, I might be short and shit at golf, but I just want to start, hand on heart, thank you so much, boys, for always making sure I'm the good-looking, funny one. Now, I've got stories about all of them that I could probably share with you, but I'm pretty sure Anne would have us removed even before I can get on to money with maths. Money, 5 times 7. Okay. No, honestly, Money's not very good at maths, but if you need any tips on any bids, then Money's your man. For anyone wondering, I just decided against one. Just not interested in the bid. Yeah. Scott MacDonald Dash. There he is. You thought my middle names were weird. There he is. I'm really proud of you actually today, mate. I've not seen you fall over, drop anything, and you've not been in the pool. Yet. Again, as you can probably imagine, yes, he is the clumsy one out of the group, but if you need tips on wrestling, Transformers, Batman, Marvel in general, this guy's your man. He has. Tank. There he is. Still somehow my favourite golfer out of the group, but I have cleared with Clive tomorrow that you're not allowed to score. And I've also cleared with Claire and Anne that timekeeping is not... Should we? No, we won't. We won't go into that. No. Late on the tee, nearly missed the plane to get over here. Yeah, didn't check the traffic. Oh, dear. Claire will forgive you, just not for a long time. Just not for a long time. Simon, the best man. Just imagine how much better we'd get along if you weren't a mank. Everyone knows their down bits. Or never wrong. If you were never wrong, then we'd get along really well too. Great stag. A few of the boys here that was on the stag will also go along with that. You did really well. 12 guys going to another country and organising, getting payments, never easy. So well done on that. Not only a great stag, but a great best man today. You've kept me calm throughout. You've helped me and put some sun cream on me and checked my hair. So great, thanks for that. Also, he's a great best man, but he does come with a warning. If there's any single ladies here today, as our group will testify, we've been told many times that girls seem to fall in love with Simon in just 6 weeks, isn't it? Just 6 weeks. So there's your warning, because after 6 weeks, he cuts you off. Cut off. Great group of mates. Couldn't ask for more. The boys. Thank you very much. And I think that's about everyone that I've got to mention. I suppose I should mention this lovely lady next to me. My new wife, Mrs. E. Thank you very much for saying yes. Otherwise, you'd have ruined a really good holiday. I asked Claire to marry me when we were away on holiday, and I was bricking it. I think it was 8 days we were away. I got to day 2, and I was like, I've got to do it. She said yes, so here we are. So thank you for saying yes. Thank you for allowing me to get more dogs after the wedding. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to spending our life as a married couple, and we go from there. So to my new bride, Claire. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, and yes, now Simon. Don't cry. Just don't cry.
I've got sunglasses on. It's fine. Hi, everybody. Dilly. First of all, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Simon. I am the best man. Some of you would beg to differ on that table, but I know some of your secrets, so shut up. Now, I read somewhere that the perfect best man's meet lasts as long as it takes for the groom to make love. So I'd like to raise a glass to the happy couple. Just joking, mate. Rest assured, though, unlike most traditional best man speeches full of sexual innuendo, I've promised Anne that if there's anything slightly risque, I'll whip it out immediately. Now, I want to just start by saying thank you to everyone for putting on such a lovely wedding. I think we'll all agree it's an absolutely stunning venue. I don't think any of us dreamed of this. Speaking of stunning, Claire, you look gorgeous, as always, and not forgetting your insanely beauty bridesmaids of yours. Clearly, late afternoon weddings are the right amount of time it takes for women to get ready. Now, during the ceremony earlier, I couldn't help but thinking, it's funny how history repeats itself. I mean, 27 years ago, Clive and Anne are putting Claire to bed with a dummy, and today they're doing it again. The internet helps. It's just the internet. You just have to change the name, it's fine. Right, before I go any further, I just wanted to give a personal and truly heartfelt thank you to George and Claire. The last years, you two have been some of the most important people in my life, slightly behind my daughters, and my solicitor, of course. I'll be here to support you whenever and wherever you need. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Now on to the groom. Where do I start with our little Georgie? Hang on. George is handsome, funny, clever, buff, strong. I can't read it, mate. Sorry. Now, there's an unwritten rule that states that nobody should look more handsome than the groom. And while there's nothing much I could do short of wearing a bag on my head, I'd like to thank the other groomsmen for doing such a wonderful job. He kind of did that one. Now, when I first met George through our good friend Scott, who knows Linda and Andy very well, by the way, all I could think was how skinny are this little chav's arms. But we all saw his killer smile and his attitude, and our beautiful friendship began. After a number of years, it was clear George had started falling for a new love. Sweet ass, clever mind, killer smile, incredible dancer, but alas, I turned out to be a United fan. So that's where our love ended. Otherwise, half of us could be at a very different ceremony today. For those that don't know, George claims to be a very, very big Liverpool fan, but I mean, who misses a Champions League final? Sorry. For anyone itching to hit the dance floor, that will start just after the final meal, I believe. Which reminds me, 20 years ago, George was told by a doctor if he ever danced normally again, when the music starts, you'll know exactly why the specialist told him not to. Now, one of my favourite periods in my life with our little George is our holiday to Maga. This is where we created the urinal selfie, which we still tell to this date, last week. It was on this holiday where me and George shared some special moments. Holiday romances, chicken shop tensing, windmilling, napping in clubs, watching Scotty grind down on some guys dressed as girls. Some things never change, eh, Scotty? We didn't take him home, though, mate. It's also fair to say that during those activities, George would have been proud if Missy Elliott was actually singing about him. The next best period of George's life, meeting Claire. Or as she was affectionately known back then, White Claire. Why White Claire? She's white and her name's Claire. I remember when George first showed me a picture of Claire, all I was thinking was, that's nice. I wonder what her face looks like. It was clear from the start of the relationship that these two were going places. Claire seemed to be able to deal with George's loud laugh, his ridiculous Twitter rants, and his stinky cheese and fueled ass. So we knew there was a chance this could last. Not only would we need to thank Claire for coming into George's life, we want to thank Claire for coming into our lives. We have experienced things that we never thought would be in the front of our minds. George's 30th, golf on this lovely course, and of course this beautiful wedding. Thank you for letting our little mess of rabble into your life. Just before I finish up, I thought it'd be really helpful for me to give you some tips on how to be happy with each other and ensure you have a happy, long and lasting marriage. But I guess it starts with marrying the right person, and I don't doubt that you definitely have. There's not a lot more to say about these two incredible people, so with that I'd like to close up and raise a glass to the happy couple. To George and Claire.